Welcome to page 6 of your Accel packet. Today, we're going to be reviewing for a quiz. Let's review our I can statements. I can name the parts of a coordinate plane. I can plot points on the coordinate plane. And lastly, when I plot a quadrilateral on the coordinate plane, I can find the perimeter and the area. Let's start with our first I can statement, and let's talk about the parts. We know that running horizontally across the coordinate plane is our x-axis. It is a horizontal line. And running vertically, controlling the movement up and down the page, is our y-axis, and that is a vertical line. Where the two intersect, that is called the origin. The ordered pair that represents the origin is 0, 0. Let's name our quadrants. Using a Roman numeral, this is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, moving counterclockwise, quadrant 3, and finally quadrant 4. In quadrant 1, all the x's are positive and all the y's are positive. In quadrant 2, please take these notes down. Your x's are negative, but because you're above the x-axis, all of your y coordinates are positive. When you're in the third quadrant, your x's are negative in value and your y coordinates will also be negative. And lastly, when you're in the fourth quadrant, all your x's will be positive and all your y's, because you're below the x-axis, will be negative. Please take a moment and write down these notes. Pause your video if you need to. Now let's plot a polygon. Remember, our x coordinate, which always comes first in the ordered pair, controls your left and right movement on the coordinate plane. Your y coordinate, which always comes second in the ordered pair, will control whether you move up the coordinate plane or down the coordinate plane. Let's plot one of the polygons we've been given. Let's start by plotting polygon number 3. If you look at point S, basically 0 is your x coordinate, telling you don't move left, don't move right, but your y coordinate is telling you to go up 3 units. So starting at the origin, we don't go left or right because that's a 0 value, but we do go up 3 and we label that S. For point T, we go, starting at the origin, first to the right 4 and up 3, and we will label this point T. Then for point U, we will go over 4, moving sideways first, down -1, and we will call this point U. And lastly, point V. Starting at the origin, the 0, which is the x coordinate, tells us don't go left or right, but the -1 for the y coordinate tells us to go down 1. Go ahead and connect your dots, creating a quadrilateral. Now let's check the length and width and label those sides. If you look from V to U and count along the base, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. And if you go from U to T, 1, 2, 3, 4, we can see that each of those are 4 in length, 4 units. Well, if the bottom is 4, certainly the top is. And if the right side is 4, well then certainly the left side is. In order to calculate the perimeter, we're going to take the length of each side and add those sides up. Perimeter equals 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. When we take the sum of those 4 sides, we see the perimeter is 16 units. If we calculate the area of that square, we can use the formula area equals base times height. Now we're only going to take 4 times 4, which in this case is also 16. But it's a different kind of unit. It's 16 square units, which means there are 16 little squares that cover the inside region of this square. So really, 2 different measurements. Now I'd like you to plot on your own polygon number 1. Stop the video and don't turn the video back on until you've completely plotted the quadrilateral and you've connected all the dots. Pause your video, please. You should have gotten a quadrilateral that looks like this rectangle in green. Let's count the units along the base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 units along the base, and then up the side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a 14 by 5 rectangle. If the bottom is 14 units, well, the top is congruent. It should be 14. And if the right side is 5, well then so is the left side. So once again, let's finish up by calculating the perimeter, the distance around the outside, and the area, the measurement of the flat surface on the inside. So as we practice for our quiz, make a note that perimeter is the distance around the outside of a figure, and we're going to find the perimeter, P, by adding up all 4 sides, 14 plus 5 plus 14 plus 5. Our perimeter, as we add all this up, is 38 units. Now the area measures the flat surface on the inside of the figure. You'll want to write that down because you can use these notes during the quiz. For area, we're going to use the formula area equals base length times the length of the height. In this case, we're going to multiply 14 units by 5 units. Go ahead and take a moment and calculate the area. You should have gotten an area of 70 square units, or units squared. Remember, square units are the units that we are using to measure that flat surface. And you can even count the squares contained within the rectangle. Now that you have notes, you can use these notes during your quiz. Thank you for reviewing with me. Now, go to the next step, where you will be instructed to take a quiz.